Live yet.
What's up, world? It's your boy Big G, rocking it for the Know It All podcast. And hey, we're glad to bring you some more information and some more stuff about sports and culture. I got my boy Tate rocking with us today. What's happening, Tate?
Big G, what's up, man? Not too much, man. Just enjoying a nice I guess it's midsummer now. Just no, not midsummer, but just enjoying a nice summer weekend. That's all, man. Weather's beautiful here, about 76. It's sunny out here in the DMV. So that's about it, bro.
That's what I'm talking about. It's countdown to countdown with a lot of sports, but we still got a lot of information and talk show stuff to bring to you guys. But hey, if you like our show, please like and subscribe to our show. We got different forms of social media, everything from Facebook to the Twitch
TikTok,
to Twitter. We got it all, man. So if you like our formats, please like and subscribe. And even more so, share it with your friends. Share it with your family, because we talk about a lot of topics that's near and dear to our heart. But we know that some of the stuff we talk about, you guys enjoy the format because we have so many subscribers right now. And we just can't continue to show our appreciation and love for the people that watch our show. So once again, if you like it, please like and subscribe our format. But hey, before we get started into our format today, because we got a lot of topics and a lot of information to bring to you, man, we just got to make sure that we bring to you guys what we always bring, which is the Know It All podcast intro.
You stopped that intro kind of quick, Big G, but let's go ahead and get it.
For the technical difficulties, man. My computer is like Ultimo Dragon sensitive, man. So I pressed the button like once and it caught itself doing it 3 times. But yeah, man, I just want to go ahead and just get into the format of the show today, man, and start talking about what we need to talk about. The first thing is, man, this free agent frenzy nonsense that's going on with the NBA. Tate, man, tell me, man, what you think about what's happening, or where you think might be destination and players that you really want to see, and on your take on the biggest free agent problem that we got right now, which is Kevin Durant. Talk to me, man. Let me know what's happening.
Man, I love the NBA offseason, man, because, it's the NFL offseason is great, right? But the NBA offseason is just so much action, man. Like, you got teams trying because in basketball, right, one or two pieces can put you over the top.
Right.
Football with 11 men on the field is not the same. One man can have a bigger impact on the football field as they can on the basketball court. So I just love the movement. I love teams trying to reach for what they think they need. The Boston Celtics, for example, they were just in the finals. They picked up Malcolm Brogdon, made a trade for him, trade like four really not even role players, 4 other players, and a first-round pick to get Malcolm Brogdon. They just made it official. They just signed Danilo Gallinari. He's going to bring a lot to that team off the bench. Yeah. So, and you got teams just making moves, man. I really enjoyed the NBA offseason.
Yeah. I think I enjoy it as well, man. But, there's been some – well, first of all, the bag that was given to the Minnesota Timberwolves – to the Utah Jazz from the Minnesota Timberwolves, just unbelievable for Rudy Gobert. But on top of that, do you really believe that the move of Gobert to the Timberwolves puts them in contention to come out of the West.
Do I believe that?
Yeah.
No, I don't believe that.
Wow.
I think they'll be a first round playoff team and maybe second round, and that's their ceiling next year.
Mm.
I mean, because they got to wait on Anthony Edwards to fully develop, which he's on his way, but it won't be next year. It'll be better next year, but we'll be talking about them in the Western Conference Finals and stuff like that 2 years from now.
Yeah. I agree somewhat. I think that they still have to develop that 1-2 punch at guards because Anthony Edwards is going to play that small. And so it's D'Angelo Russell. Does he fit with the team with Gobert, with Cat playing the 4? So maybe Minnesota might not be done making moves. But I think so far that's been probably the biggest move. What do you think has been the low-key great move that the team has made outside of Malcolm Brogdon? Because I think Brogdon with the Boston Celtics was a great move. But do you see any other move that a team made and you're like, man, that put those guys in potential to where they could, make some noise come playoff?
I do, man. I like the move of the Milwaukee Bucks picking up the guy from Utah. I'm seeing his face.
For the Utah Jazz?
Yeah, they got the guy who used to play for Utah, Joe Ingles. Joe Ingles.
Yeah, correct.
They picked up Joe Ingles, so now you got when they go small, and you got Giannis playing the 5.
Yeah,
you put Joe Ingles as a playmaking 3, take some ball handling responsibility off Drew Holiday. You still got Chris Middleton in there, so I mean, you talking about a lineup. You potentially have Giannis, Middleton, Joe Ingles, Drew Holiday, and whoever else they put in there.
Yeah.
So I really like that move by. I like PJ Tucker going to Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah. If I was going to say that was my move, I had that and DiVincenzo signing with the Golden State Warriors. I think those were 2 great pickups for 2 great guys that fit into the formula. Philadelphia needs a guy that's going to be rough, rugged, and raw, and it's going to keep guys up off of James Harden. But I still look for the 76ers maybe to make a move and get off of Joe Harris, man. What you think about maybe Joe Harris?
Boy, Joe Harris is in Brooklyn.
Harris that plays forward. Tobias Harris that plays forward for the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good move because I mean, best case scenario for Philadelphia, best starting lineup, I see PJ Tucker playing the 4. Even though he's a little small, he's physical. He's played the 4 a lot.
Yeah.
And they brought him in. They brought Eddie House there, I believe. They're bringing getting James Harden, Daryl Morey, the GM in Philadelphia, was the GM in Houston.
Right.
They're bringing players in that are familiar with Harden, and they'll put that driving kick offense Philly had with Embiid being with the ability to go in or out. We know inside and outside also.
Right.
So I think if they can get some for Tobias Harris, because he's gonna be hard to move because he's overpaid.
Yeah.
He's making like $30 million a year, and he give you about $18 million in production.
Yeah.
I mean,
you think Maxey stays in Philly?
Maxey definitely stays in Philly. He's their future.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like 21 years old, and he's on the precipice of being an all-star in the East.
Yeah.
Maybe not just this year, but I would say definitely the next 2 years. We're talking about an all-star caliber guard.
Right. All right. So now we got the big question, the elephant in the room, the question that everybody's been trying to figure out. Where does KD and Kyrie Irving end up? So we're going to talk about Kevin Durant first. Now, let me set the precedence for this. Kevin Durant had his own team in Oklahoma City for years. He couldn't beat the Golden State Warriors. So what does he do? The next year, he joins the Golden State Warriors and wins a couple of championships along with an MVP. He leaves that team because he doesn't like the chemistry between himself and Draymond Green, grows to Brooklyn, and more or less recruits his own team, which towards the end, you had the franchise make a move and say, hey, James Harden doesn't want to work and doesn't want to play with you anymore. So we're going to trade him for Ben Simmons, who we don't even know what's going on with him. So now KD is here and he's like, man, I want out. So where do you think, if you had to give it a percentage, where do you think Kevin Durant ends up at and who does he play for?
Ooh, that's a tough one, man. I mean, because like like KD has some nonsense where he said if he want to be traded to Miami, right? Miami and Phoenix is preferred destination.
Correct.
But he said he don't want to go to Miami if they not keeping Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, and Kyle Lowry.
Correct.
So if you keeping all them, then you can't trade for KD.
Correct.
I mean, if KD going to Miami, best case scenario is he able to keep Jimmy Butler with him.
Correct.
But you got to give up Bam because he's a young star, and you got to give up Kyle Lowry because that helps make the money work.
Right. Well, Bam can't be traded because of the clause that they have of having Ben Simmons and Bam on the same contract. So there's no way they would have.
If they trading for Bam, they getting rid of Ben Simmons. You don't got to worry about that.
Yeah, correct.
But no, so I think I could see KD in Miami. I think that's the kind of structured culture he needs. He needs a coach like Eric Spoelstra, not Steve Nash or somebody him and Kyrie can say, "Oh, we'll be the coach." You need a real coach, and you need a real ownership. That's Pat Riley, real front office leadership and ownership up there. Mickey Aarons is the owner, but Pat Riley is up there with Mickey Aarons. Yeah. And you just need that kind of voice and that structure. I think KD would be all right. If it's not Miami, I think it probably should be Phoenix. Mm-hmm. I think him and Chris Paul and Devin Booker could form a nice threesome. Yeah. And they'd have to sign and trade DeAndre Ayton, give up Miles Bridges, and probably give them a couple of picks. But I think it might be worth it because we're talking about them competing for the championship again next year if you put KD and Booker together with CP3 running the show.
Yeah. I mean, I like both of those trades. And, unfortunately, Kevin Durant doesn't have a no-trade clause in his contract, so he can end up wherever they decide on trading him. But I got a sneaky trade that I think might put a team over the top. And that's Kevin Durant getting traded to the Boston Celtics for Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown. I think if you pair him up with Brogdon, Tatum, Williams, Horford, I think that the Boston Celtics, that could be the move to put them over the top for the championship. What do you think about that trade, Tate?
I don't disagree. I've heard that noise coming out the Boston media market, the New England media market. Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, and you'd have to give up a couple of firsts still too.
Yeah.
But I like Tatum and KD with Brogdon, and then we're talking about they still got Robert Williams. They still got the kid that just came over to play, had a real good playoffs from San Antonio.
Oh,
Derek White. Derek White.
Yeah.
Derek White, and you still got Horford. You still got the other Williams dude. They come off the bench. Boston is a real good team. And KD is familiar with Ime Udoka.
Yeah.
Because he was assistant coach in Brooklyn. And, and he comes from the pop tree. So, he's going to be a coach too. Like we said, what Brooklyn was missing.
Yeah.
He's going to be a coach. So I definitely like that trade. I would like to see that. Boston, I think that would jump Boston to the top of the East.
Yeah. I think KD with Jason Tatum and Al Horford and Malcolm Brogdon would put them not just maybe top of the East, but the favorites to win the championship. As long as because I like Brogdon playing the point guard. I mean, people could say what they want to say about Marcus Smart, but Jonathan Brogdon, Brogdon is a definite distributor of the basketball, putting guys in the right position. Marcus Smart plays great defense. I don't have anything against him. He's been an all-world defender. But when you look at the reason why the Boston Celtics lost the playoffs, it's because of the turnovers that they had from the point guard position and putting Tatum and Brown in positions where they dribbled entirely too much. So the change, if they're going to make the change and you're going to make the change for the chip, you got to go all in with a guy like KD. The dark horse team, maybe the Toronto Raptors. And possibly going back to OKC because OKC's got the capital. I also heard a dark trade, maybe with him going to Chicago Bulls, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to flip the script and go to our guy, Kyrie Irving, who many people now in the NBA are calling the NBA's trouble child. He can't seem to get along with anybody or play with anybody or do anything with anybody outside of LeBron James, where he won a championship in Cleveland. So from your take, Tate, where do you see Kyrie Irving ending up at this next NBA season?
Kyrie gonna go to LA because they're the only ones that want him.
Wow.
I
Wow.
mean, LeBron wants him there. I mean, they can they should be able to make it happen because Brooklyn wants to get off Kyrie.
Yeah.
I mean, if that means taking Russ back and the Lakers got to give us some assets, the Lakers could have made some moves, but they whatever the Rambuses, that's how you say that plural, the Rambi,
Yeah. Yeah.
and Jeannie Buss and what's the guy's name? The GM, Rob Pelinka.
Yep.
They're set on not wanting to give up draft picks, but when you got LeBron James at age 38 and Anthony Davis great going to his age 30 season, he's gonna turn 30 sometime during the season.
Yeah.
You in win now mode. That them first round picks in 2027 and 2028 don't mean nothing.
Correct.
You in win now remote, and you go ahead and do what you gotta do to put the pieces on that team that they can compete again.
Right.
So I only see Kyrie going to the Lakers, period.
Yeah. That's the only place I see, really, to be honest. I see Kyrie Irving ending up as well. And I really do think that Kyrie is the antidote for the Los Angeles Lakers to be a better team. I mean, he's a true distributor of the basketball. People can say what he want. Kyrie Irving's issues is not on the court. Kyrie Irving's issues is off the court. So if Kyrie Irving is on the court playing basketball with LeBron James and you have a healthy Anthony Davis, that does definitely give them an opportunity to be a contention team in the West.
Kyrie, you're right. But Kyrie's thing is he definitely can be a distributor of the basketball. He's not the high assist guy, but Kyrie's thing is he can play on or off ball. Russ got to have the ball in his hand, and Russ is not a knockdown shooter. Kyrie can play without the ball in his hand and be a knockdown shooter and have the ball and play make when LeBron is off the floor. Because we know LeBron's the playmaker. We know LeBron can average between 8 and 10 assists a game.
Right.
And him and Kyrie have done it before. And they did it with Kevin Love. Now, theoretically, if he could get to LA, they're doing it with him, with LeBron and Anthony Davis, which is an upgrade from Kevin Love if Anthony Davis is coming to play.
Right, right. The only thing that I've heard that the problem in LA is that the front office split between what they want to do. I heard that there was a trade in the works where they would trade Russell Westbrook to the Indiana Pacers for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield. But I heard LeBron James is like, nah, man, if we can get Kyrie, give Kyrie up for Westbrook and some draft picks. So I guess we're going to find out real quick, fast, in a hurry, who really runs the Lakers. Is it Jeannie Buss? Is it some of those front office executives? Or is it LeBron James, who, by the way, is now a billionaire and talking about getting his own team, or maybe even becoming a co-owner in Los Angeles, or not starting a team in Las Vegas? So I definitely like to take a Kyrie Irving. Is there a dark horse place maybe that Kyrie could end up taking? You got a maybe a dark horse team, maybe?
If you giving me if you tell me I got to pick a dark horse team,
yeah,
somebody who could use Kyrie but I don't know what they have to make it work, but if they can make it work, I can see them going to Dallas with Luka.
Oh, wow. Man, that would be a great team, man. That would definitely give Dallas, because the way the Mavericks are built right now, in my estimation, the Dallas Mavericks is a playing team in the Western Conference. The Western Conference is loaded, man. And I don't see the Dallas Mavericks getting any higher than a 7 seed. Maybe a 6 seed, maybe.
That works with Dallas for the same reason it works with LA, because LeBron and Luka are the systems. They ball dominate, but like I said, Kyrie can play off ball, so Luka and LeBron can drive and kick. Then Kyrie can come back and either shoot or drive and kick again. And the total movement of offense, it just makes things up easier on the other 3 players on the court.
Correct. Hey, so Tate, is there any other NBA player that you possibly could see get traded that could make all the difference in the world to shift the NBA from what's current status, or where a team or a franchise or might just say, man, let's just blow it up and start scratch? So do you think there's anybody out there where a team might just say, man, we're done. Let's move to the future?
I think that team is Brooklyn. I think Brooklyn is going to get off KD, going to get off Kyrie, and then they're going to get off Ben Simmons too.
Wow.
And then they're going to recoup a lot back from those 3 players. We talking about 2 number 1 overall picks, Kyrie and Ben Simmons, and KD is the number 2 overall pick, who should have been number 1 overall pick, but Portland took Greg Oden. Understandably so at the time, but KD should have been number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I see that team being Brooklyn, man. They're gonna blow it up, and I don't know if they're gonna start from scratch. They don't want to start from scratch because all they draft picks belong to Houston for the James Harden trade.
Correct.
So they don't want to tank. If they tank, that's only gonna benefit the Houston Rockets.
Correct.
I see them trading for some win now players, some young potential stars, even not all stars now, potential stars, recouping some draft picks and doing a rebuild while not tanking.
Yeah. I think the Brooklyn Nets will definitely be a team that you might see blow it up. The only other team that has pieces that I think would help NBA franchises to win a championship is the Toronto Raptors. I look for the Raptors maybe to just say, hey, man, we can't get this with Scotty Barnes. We're going to build around. We're going to get rid of Van Vliet. We're going to get rid of Pascal Siakam, and we're going to start over with Scotty Barnes. So those are pieces that could go to an NBA franchise. The dark horse team that might blow it up, though, is the Clippers. Even though they got John Wall, even though they got Leonard, even though they got Paul George, man, if the Clippers don't start off hot, I think by the All-Star break, you might see that whole roster turn over. What you think about that, Tate?
I can see that happening, man. I mean, the West gonna be tough, so the Clippers can some people picking them as a top 4 seed hosting the playoff series. I could see them being a playing team too, because the West just so tough too, man.
Yeah.
Well, the NBA is wide open now, man. I mean, Vegas got Golden State favorite already again next year, but I don't know how viable that is. You know what I mean? Draymond a year older. Hopefully Clay come back 100%. They got some good young pieces, but they can't pay everybody.
Right.
Wiggins want to get paid. Well, he got 1 more year, but he want to get paid an extension. Jordan Poole looking for his first big contract. Then you still got Wiseman coming up. Jonathan Kuminga. They going into their 2nd and 3rd years respectively. So some decisions got to be made in Golden State. They're usually good at making decisions, but I won't know till I see next year.
Right. And that's a great segue to our next topic, man, because what we've seen so far is some of the young talent in the NBA on display in the NBA Summer League, man. Tate, man, give me your take real fast on what your overall thing about the Summer League that you've seen just build up and it become now a go-to event to where it used to be maybe 10 people in the arena. Now you literally have thousands seeing these youngsters play basketball.
Yeah, man. I mean, when they break it down, I think they got 3 locations. I know they play in Utah and Vegas. I just don't know if this year they still play in Orlando. They did before, even they didn't this year. But yeah, man, the Summer League, I've caught a few games. A matter of fact, when we get off this, I'm going to go watch my Cleveland Cavaliers Summer League team play at 7 p.m. on ESPNU.
Yeah.
Be sure to go check that out. But nah, man, like your boy Chet Holmgren looked good in his first game, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen he had like 23 and 12 boards and 6 blocks.
Yeah, he did.
It was like 4 of 8 or 5 of 8 from 3-point range.
Yeah.
So he's a potential unicorn. And Oklahoma City drafted him. They draft him on upside.
Yeah.
If he turns into what he can turn into, if he puts on 30 more pounds in the next 2 or 3 years, gets some muscle, he's going to be a problem.
Yeah. Definitely got a jump shot and a dribble penetration and plays great defense. Hey, but I got to give a shout out to my Summer League team. And so for all you KnoItAllz listeners out there for years and years and years, you've known that I've been a New York Knickerbocker fan, and I've brought this up in the chat line amongst the guys and other teams and other guys that love NBA basketball. I am officially done with the New York Knicks, man. I can't take the Knicks anymore. So I became a free agent. And looking at all the other landscapes and all the other teams out there, I fell in love with a team pretty fast. And it was different for me because I saw them play and I liked the pieces. And I was like, wait a minute, these guys are rookies? And so I got a new team, man, that I'm going to start cheering for after 39 years loyalty with the New York Knicks. My new team, and I know one of our loyal listeners, B. Dirk's going to love this, the Detroit Pistons, man. I think the Pistons might have the best young backcourt in the NBA in Ivy and Cade Cunningham, man. And I think that they have some frontline pieces that can mature, and there's some great basketball players. And I look for the Pistons to be this year's version of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Maybe not as high as a 6, 7, or 8 seed, but possibly in that 9 or 10 spot playing basketball, getting ready to try to get in the playoffs. What you think about that take, Tate?
I think Detroit. Well, first, you were a Knicks fan for a long time, like you said, and you did say in our Slack channel amongst each other that you was looking for a new team. You was leaving New York. You let it be known.
Yeah.
I tried to get you to come over to the Cleveland Cavaliers. I understand the Detroit Pistons, man. You're a little closer to Detroit geographically.
Yeah.
It'd be a little quicker for you to go to a Detroit game than it would be a Cleveland game.
Yes, sir.
By about 30 minutes, not too much longer, but you save 30 minutes going to see Detroit.
Yeah.
But I like the direction Detroit going. I love Cade Cunningham and the pickup of Jaden Ivey. He is a steal at pick 5.
Yeah.
I think that. And they got a lot of good young talent. They drafted Jalen Duren from Memphis, the big man from they traded for him, the big man from Memphis.
Hey, I got a wild moment for the show because it ain't the know-it-alls without a wild moment.
With one of your burners?
With Jalen Duren. The kid is baby Sean Kemp. The kid is baby Sean Kemp, man. I'm telling you, I did not realize he's 18 years old, man. I didn't realize it. I was like, wait a minute, he turns 19. He turns 19 in October. Wait a minute, he's 18 years old and he's built like man. When I'm telling you, this kid's built like a Brinks truck. He's built like a Brinks truck, and he attacks the rim, man.
I do agree about Jalen Duren. He's gonna be their center of the future. But you got to look at Detroit. They also got Killian Hayes in the backcourt. He'll probably go to the bench now, but he's a nice player.
Yeah.
Sadiq Bey.
Yes.
He was first team all rookie, not this past year, but that last year. Isaiah Stewart, the one LeBron elbow in the eye, big boy.
Yeah, loving him.
They just re-signed Marvin Bagley. I think he'll be the starting power forward.
Yep.
And you got veterans like Kelly Olynyk on the team. You got Amadou Diallo, who's just an athlete. And you got what's the other guy's name I'm trying to think of? Oh, Isaiah Livers.
Yes, from Michigan.
University of Michigan. Yeah, he was better than Jordan Poole at Michigan. So if they need the time kind of development out of him that Golden State has got out of Jordan Poole, then you really on to something. Detroit is loaded with young talent.
Yeah. I had to pick them, and I had to pick them early because I was torn between them and the Cavs, and I still am going to follow the Cavs because I love their young talent, but I didn't want to be accused of the bandwagon jumper. The Cavs is on to something, and the Cavs could definitely end up this season as being a top 3 or 4 seed and definitely might be playing in that Eastern Conference Finals. I think they might be 1 year away from into the NBA Finals. But I think that they could definitely be playing in the Eastern Conference Finals next year, depending on what goes on with teams being traded. So I don't want to be a Cavs saying, man, I jumped on the Cavs when they got good because they were horrible for years. So I really looked at it from a geographical standpoint and young talent standpoint. And, man, I really like the Detroit Pistons. I like what the front office is doing. I like what the coach is doing. I mean, Coach Chaney is one of those guys that have developed young talent. I mean, for those that don't know the story, Chaney recruited Sean Kemp when he was in 9th grade. So that's how long this guy's been around basketball.
Chaney not Detroit coach?
Yes, he is.
No, he's not, man. The dude used to coach Toronto's Detroit's coach.
Mr. Chaney. Not Don Chaney, the light-skinned guy you're thinking about. I'm talking about Chaney that used to coach the Toronto Raptors.
It's not Chaney, though.
I might be wrong, but I'm new to the squad, so I can be wrong when it comes to Detroit. I'm just filling it in. I just know that the guy is a former Detroit.
Dwayne Casey.
Dwayne Casey. I said Chaney.
Yeah, Casey. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, every now and then I call a guy's name wrong, but I know he was definitely a Toronto Raptors head coach, and he definitely develops young talent. I mean, when you talk about him developing DeMar DeRozan, Van Vliet, you know, these are guys, Kyle Lowry, he developed those guys and created a winning culture in Toronto. So I think he could do that absolute same thing in Detroit. Hey, man, so now, go ahead. I'm listening, Tate.
You brought him up. Let me go ahead and talk about my Cleveland Cavaliers real quick.
Yeah, for sure.
That's one thing I'm waiting to see what Cleveland going to do, man. I'm waiting on the Colin Sexton shoe to drop,
Yeah.
I mean, they've made no move with him. They haven't gave him a contract. They haven't traded him. Rumor was that Dallas wanted to sign and trade for Sexton, but they didn't have nothing. Dallas didn't have anything that Cleveland wanted. So that's why that wasn't working. But I mean, I like where Cleveland's going. This the team this year. I like Darius Garland. Evan Mobley is going to be a future top 5 player in the next couple, 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And you got Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, Lauri Markkanen. We drafted Ochai Agbaji.
Great kid.
You still got Isaac Okoro, and they drafted Evan Mobley's brother. I checked him out in the first summer league game. I saw him at USC, but man, he can handle the ball at 6'11", get the rebound and go. He can stroke the 3. I mean, I think he got to get in a little better pro shape, but he's going to be good. Then we signed Ricky Rubio back as veteran.
Great pickup.
Yeah, because we played our best when Rubio was there last year before he got hurt. And they picked up Robin Lopez to play backup center.
Great pickup.
I really like the direction Cleveland's heading. I really feel like that Central Division is going to be coming down when you got Milwaukee there, but Cleveland and Detroit will be fighting for that second place, probably just behind Milwaukee for that division.
Hey, I'm telling you, Detroit's not that far away. I think they just got to get the time. The one thing about basketball, NBA basketball, you have to play NBA basketball to get better. And that's how you naturally saw the maturation of the Cavs along with talent. They went from like a bottom feeder that they jumped up, and then they jumped up last year. So you could definitely see the jump happen again with the Cavs. And I think Detroit is on that same trajectory. I think they're going to jump up where they're not going to be a bottom feeder, and you're going to look up and around the midseason, and they're going to be like, wait a minute, they're in 9th place, 10th place, which is not great. But that's saying that you're no longer a bottom feeder because the talent that we have puts us in position and we're in playoff contention. So, right. That's just what I'm, my whole feelings or thoughts about the NBA. Hey, but we're going to switch gears to something that I love, and I know all our know-it-all fans are out there looking forward to. We got 2 weeks until the NFL training camp starts, man. Tate, man, we was just on the BTSC podcast, man, talking football about that AFC North, so that we could talk all day about what's going on in that division. But give me a couple of highlights of what you're actually looking for this training camp and with players moving forward that could possibly put their team on the trajectory to win the Super Bowl.
Man, I'm all in on my Pittsburgh Steelers, and with the Steelers, what you're looking for is what we all looking for. You're a Steeler fan too. What we all looking for is that camp quarterback battle. Yeah. Between Mitchell Trubisky and Kenny Pickett. Yeah. Once we know what's happening there, we'll know a little more about what we think we can expect from the Steelers. Yeah. Because we haven't seen these guys. Kenny Pickett's been in college. Mitch Trubisky was in Chicago, and then he was in Buffalo last year and didn't play at all. So, both young, high pedigree guys. Anxious to see that battle play out for the Steelers. Now we got a battle going what's happening in Carolina with that quarterback position with Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. Yeah. I'm anxious to see that. And just teams building their rapport in camp, starting to form an identity. You know what I mean? Camp is like where you come in and you get that fresh piece of clay, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. And you mold it. You can't mold your team, mold your identity, mold your culture. You know what I mean? So I'm just anxious to see that from all the different teams. I think I want to see Philadelphia Eagles this year. I'm going to be checking out their training camp, So, I mean, it's just a lot of them. It's just good TV all around. My TV is going to be on NFL Network all day long, most days when training camp gets started. Because, they have they break-ins at each team's camps. They go, show parts of the team's camp. So I'm anxious to see that. Yeah, yeah. If I had a highlight reel of things I wanted to look forward to, I would say there's definitely 3 things. The first thing is the maturation of Zach Jones,
Jalen Hurst, and Justin Herbert at quarterback.
Mac Jones.
Zach who?
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson, Jalen Hurst, and Justin Herbert, man. Those three guys.
Justin Fields.
No, not Justin Fields, Justin Herbert.
Oh, well, you said Justin Fields the first time and Herbert the second time. But okay.
Yeah. I want to see how Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurst, and Zach Wilson turns up at quarterback. Because I think those are three guys from an NFL franchise standpoint that can go from here to up here. And I think they can propel their teams to possibly put them in playoff contention. But I got to see them grow as quarterbacks.
Jets playoff contention?
Oh, yeah. Well, if we did a show right now, I would pick the Jets second in their division. I'd pick them over Miami, and I'd pick them over New England Patriots. I think the Jets has got.
Why would you pick them over Miami and the Patriots? Why?
Because I think that the New York Jets have the best young talent in that division, and I also think that identity as a team has been established. The Miami Dolphins is going from a team that was defensive fronted. Now they're going to be an offensive fronted team. And with Tyreek Hill, I don't know. People think he's going to be alley cat running the ball all over the place in Miami. Listen, Tua Tagovailoa is not the same quarterback as Pat Mahomes. And in New England, I just think they ain't figured it out yet with Mac Jones. Mac Jones is not Tom Brady. One thing about Tom Brady, and Tate, we know this from years and years and years of the Steelers playing against them.
The playoffs last year.
Who did?
The Patriots.
They're not fearful for the playoffs this year, man. One thing we know about the Patriots, we don't fear Belichick as much as we fear Tom Brady. And I think teams finally now is going to sit down and watch film on Mac Jones and be like, this guy ain't Tom Brady. And they definitely don't have the personnel to put around him where they're going to be out there killing them. Now, do they have great coaching? I got to give it to Belichick because he's won more Super Bowls than anybody. But I think that the young talent in the Jets is going to cause problems, just like I'm calling the young talent out there in the Los Angeles Chargers, and definitely the young talent down there in Philadelphia. That's the first thing I'm looking forward to. The second thing is the obvious choice. Can Russell Wilson do it in Denver? You know, he's been everywhere else. Can he actually electrify? Because we're going to get a chance to see it on TV. I think the Broncos are on television more than any other team outside of possibly the Dallas Cowboys this NFL season, right? And the third thing I'm looking forward to is the Green Bay Packers better by subtraction. By losing Devontae Adams, are they a better team? Do they put themselves in a position that they finally get over the hump? So I guess those are the three things that I'm really looking forward to in this NFL offseason. Tate, you got any other things that you really like? Man, I got to see it. I got to see what happens because it's must-watch TV for the NFL.
No, I mean I forgot about Russ, but you know that I'm anxious to see that. I'm no shout out to homie Mai who's not here with us today, but I'm anxious to see. I want to see Dallas finish third in that division. That's what I meant.
Yeah, I understand that, man. I get it because I help all the bad things in the world happen to the Cowboys and only the Cowboys. So I totally understand that one, man. But you think they'll finish third though?
Man, I got Philly winning it, and I think the Commanders can compete with them if Carson Wentz comes back and has a good year. If he plays like Carson Wentz 2017.
Yeah. So I got a quick question about the Commanders. Who is their third receiver? Because I don't know it. I know the one guy. I know the one is. I know the two is. But I just because I know the running back is. I know the tight end is.
Who's the two?
The two is Curtis Samuel.
Right.
Yeah, and the one is Terry McLaurin. I just need to know who the third guy is because, you know, I've been on this copycat league thing for a minute. And so when I see a team line up and they got three dogs and they run triplets and they got a good tight end, Logan Thomas is their tight end, by the way, for the Commanders team out there. I just need to know who their third receiver is.
They got the dude, look like they got Jahan Dotson. They drafted him out of Penn State.
Yeah. So 3 personnel, Jahan Dotson, Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, with Carson Wentz, Logan Thomas playing tight end, good running back, Tate, I think you're on to something.
That's why I say if they get a good season from Carson Wentz, they can compete with Dallas. Remember, Carson Wentz was competing with Dallas when he was in Philly. Him and Dak was the best quarterbacks in the division just 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah. So you think, well, I might ride with you about them Commanders, man. But I definitely think and feel, and this, like I said, Ahmad ain't here to defend himself, but without a shadow of a doubt, I've said this for weeks now. The Philadelphia Eagles, barring injury, are going to win the the NFC East. Barring injury, the Philadelphia Eagles is that team, right?
I agree with you.
Right. One little last question about the NFL, man. Is there a player that during training camp will get traded that will make an impact on another team to put them in playoff contention and possibly make a run for a Super Bowl? Or is there a free agent out there that can join a team that will help them get to where they're trying to go?
Well, again, man, all my perspective comes from the eyes of a Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
Mm.
So I can see Pittsburgh signing another edge rusher to back up TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith so they can play with maximum freshness when they're in.
Yeah.
And I would like that player to be Justin Houston.
Oh.
We tried it with Melvin Ingram last year, and he didn't want to stay. He thought he should be a starter, but when you're coming in, you're coming in to get the third amount of reps between the two edge rushers.
Mm.
So I like Justin Houston coming in, he can get 40% of the snaps because he can give TJ Watt 20% break on snaps and Alex Highsmith a 20% break. So he would be playing 40% of the snaps.
Mm.
And I like him coming in to be that third edge rusher. So I think that can help. But Pittsburgh's defense is already elite. It's going to be elite.
Top three.
I think that can even over the top. What do you think about just your free agent or trade that can happen?
I'll tell you the guy that could still cause a lot of problems if they sign him in the NFL. And people might say, man, that's a wild take and all whatever else. But I'm telling you, he's proven it when the money's on the line. Odell Beckham Jr., man. Wherever Odell Beckham Jr. lines up at or ends up playing at, it's going to be for a contender. What team? I don't know. But I think that Odell Beckham Jr. can make that difference. I've heard rumors where he could be at the Los Angeles Chargers. I've heard rumors where he's going to be at the Kansas City Chiefs. I've heard rumors where he would line up with the Las Vegas Raiders. I've heard rumors where he was going to be at the New Orleans Saints. But I think Odell Beckham Jr. is a guy that you bring in maybe at the middle of training camp, at the end of training camp, and he comes in and he makes one heck of a turn for a team that just needs that third guy to put the fear of God in those defensive backs to make guys start backing up. Could you even imagine Odell Beckham Jr. with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Oh, my goodness. It wouldn't even be fair. Mike Edwards, Godwin, and Odell Beckham Jr.? Come on, man. It's not fair.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, so our last topic of the day, man, and we're switching gears completely on this. We're going away from sports and football because on the KnoItAllz podcast, we talk culture too. So I had a question posed to me with one of our listeners, and I'm going to give him a shout out on the show. It's my actual cousin. His name is Curtis Gurley. And Curtis Gurley was like, hey, man, I've heard you guys talk about culture and stuff like that before, but I want to get you guys' take because we know it all. We know all the information. Tell me your top 5 hip-hop beats of all time. So I was like, man, Kurt, that's sort of a good question to ask KnoItAllz and have people respond and talk about, because I really do think that hip-hop is just as much as part of the sports culture as the sports culture is part of hip-hop. So knowing that and posing that question, man, I'm going to bring it to Tate first, man. Tate, man, you got to come hard and you got to come correct with the top 5 hip-hop beats of all time. Give me your list, man.
Man, my list is ever evolving and fluctuating, man, because there's so many. We talked about this the other day, and I said 5, and I could give you a whole new 5 today.
Yeah.
I talked this with my brothers in town. I talked to him about this yesterday. he gave a whole new 5, and I didn't like not disagree with anything he said. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm gonna stick with my first 5 that I said originally when you said Kirk had suggested this, and we was just throwing stuff out there at after you said that. And my top 5 was, and this is my top 5. Y'all might not necessarily like them, but I think the beats is just movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I got classic. If you think about each one of these songs when you hear them, if you're in the club or when you used to go to the club or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So I got the Lean Back remix with Eminem and Fat Joe.
Oh yeah, yeah. Great.
I
great.
love that one. I got What We Do, State Property with Jay-Z.
Okay. I'm feeling it. Yeah.
I got I Don't Do Much by Benny Siegel.
Okay.
Think about that beat.
Yeah, yeah.
I got The Formula by DOC. Remember that one? I know you remember that one.
Yeah, yeah.
You gotta be an OG to remember that one.
Yeah.
Because we talking about 87 right there.
Right.
But that beat would just come in just banging. Remember that?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah.
And I got In the Club by 50 Cent, man.
Wow. So out of your list, man, I got one of them, man. I got one of In the Club by 50 Cent. I gotta ride with it, man. I mean, you could turn that song on anywhere, anytime, with any culture of people, maybe outside of country and Western, and those folks in the room is going to get up and start dancing. I think Dre hit it out of the park within the club as far as a hip hop beat of all time. So I gotta agree with you with that one. But I got 4.
It's your birthday.
Oh my goodness, man!
It's your birthday,
man. I'm telling you, man. That song. Most people know at least the first part of the song. You know, the first part of the lyrics, let alone the beat. But when the beat just drops, man, Dre did something special with that 50 Cent, man.
Don't disagree.
My second one is a newer song for all them young heads out there, man. It's not newer, but it's to the newer generation of hip-hop artists. Man, I love DNA by Kendrick Lamar. I think that DNA beat, man, just goes hard. But once again, here's Dre in the laboratory doing some stuff that's churning out hits, man. So I got to give it up, man. My third beat, another Dre, Getting Funky by the DOC, man. Compton.
But
Compton.
check it out. We had 2 different ones, but we both got 2 of the DOC from the same album. The Formula and We Getting Funky is on the same album.
Yeah, yeah. My fourth one is All About the Benjamins, but with the remix with Puff, man. Man, that beat goes hard, man. When you actually play that, and that's one of those other songs in my mind that when you walk in the club and they played All About the Benjamins, everybody in their mom was up dancing. And then, oh my God, when they with the remix part and it goes to Biggie and the beat changes, come on, man. That's a classic.
Oh beat. Yeah. The break. There's a whole bunch of songs where dudes get the break.
Yeah.
Like Biggie got the break in that the Benjamin's remix.
And switched it up.
Eminem got the break in the Lean Back remix.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, and Kanye get the break in so many different things. But yeah, I agree with you. I like that too, though.
Yep. And my last one, because I'm a realist, man. There's certain groups that just they are hip hop. So my last one is one of the first beats that I ever fell in love with my whole life, man. Bonita Applebum by the Tribe Called Quest.
I love that beat too.
Man, I remember, man, as a kid putting that in and going out and sitting in my mom and them dad's van and shaking the van because every time the bass hit, it was like, boo, boo. So Bonita Applebum by the Tribe Called Quest. But Tate, hey, man, I got to ask you, do you got any honorable mentions out there, maybe 2 or 3 that you just say, hey, man, honorable mention, this beat was killing it for the hip-hop nation, man?
Honorable mentions. I'd have to say Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
NWA.
Yep.
I love the Jim Jones, We Fly High.
Yeah.
Ballin'.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Biggie Hypnotized.
Yeah.
I mean, I could just go on and on, man. I mean, you know what I mean? But I'll stop there with 3 honorable mentions, but I gotta give up to this old one too, because since you just gave an old one with who you just said?
Tribe Called Quest,
Tribe
Bonita
Called Quest.
Applebum. Yeah.
I got to give an old shout out to Microphone Fiend, Eric B. and Rakim.
Man, he's on my list of honorable mentions. There's no ifs, ands, buts, and paid in full by Eric B. and Rakim. They had hitting them out there. My honorable mention, man, I mean, some folks might know these artists, but I'm just going to bring you back and make you just want to reminisce on about a beat, man. The Black Superman by Above the Law, man. That beat was played, and that song was played constantly around me. Just sometimes even the instrumental, because the beat was just so hard, man. Deja Vu by Lord Tariq and Peter Guns, man. I think that song was played on more of the higher level hip hop circuit, but I mean, it was played in every Foot Action and Foot Locker and Finish Line across America for months and months and months and months and months, because the anthem of the Deja Vu was just really that, man. And I think it deserves to be an honorable mention of an all-time honorable mention, man. I like Show Nuff by Tila and 8 Ball and MJG. When you play that song, now just for y'all listeners out there, that ain't for the kids. The kids can't listen to Show Nuff, man. But 8 Ball and MJG did their thing, so I got to give it up for the South. And then my last one, man, that I got to give up is the Players Anthem Radio Mix by Junior Mafia, man. That beat went boss, man. So, you know, I got a little bit of down south, a little up north, a little bit of East Coast, and a little West Coast in my beats. Hey, but all Hip Hop Nation has done their thing.
Give me 5 seconds, and I want to ask you a question. One more question before you get ready to break us out of here.
Sure.
I think I can do this for 5 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah. That's that. Yeah, that's that tribe. That's that tribe, man.
But yeah, man. So let me ask you where this one. I want to know, because it's hard to put this one in there for me. I mean, I want to know where you mentioned about 2 or 3 Dr. Dre beats. So where do you put G Thing?
Wow. G Thing is if you want to say almost a hip hop anthem, it's got to go up there. It's one of the songs I love, but I guess because it was just played so much by the Chronic, I sort of like left it off there. And I thought about songs that, like, as soon as I think about hip hop, those are the songs. And maybe it's because of just how often I listen to it, but G Thing definitely deserves a top mention.
I think G Thing came out, if I know my memory usually always serves me correctly, but in November, fall of 92.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So we talking 30 years ago. And I just remember first time I heard that beat and Snoop come in with his voice, because you remember Snoop was on deep cover with Dr. Dre before G Thing dropped.
Correct.
But when I first heard that, man, I was, like you said about something, I was mesmerized by that beat.
Yeah.
We talking 30 years ago. I was like 19 years old. So
right. The Chronic came out in fall of 92. True fact, true story. I bought the Chronic with Pierce Austin at the mall in Minneapolis, Minnesota, downtown. I actually bought a black fitted Atlanta Falcons football cap, and the Chronic album. That I actually bought that in Minneapolis, Minnesota with Pierce Austin. And I think I warped the brake shoes off of the tape. You know, I think by the time I got back down to college in Iowa, the tape was already warped because I had played it so much, man. G-Thing was really that thing, man. Hey, so Tate, I gotta just ask now, what's your party shots, man? 1, 2, 3. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Had to give it a little shout out, man.
Yeah.
But man, well, my party shot, man, I just want to, nothing major today, man. I want to give a shout out to my niece Calandria Lorraine Tate. Today is her 25th birthday. She's an amazing young lady. She's a warrior for Jesus Christ. And she just lights up every room that she's in. I mean, her personality is amazing. I used to worry about her being taken advantage of when she was a little girl because she was just so nice. But like I told her yesterday, because we celebrated her yesterday, her niceness is her strength.
Yeah.
That's her strength. And she lives out here. She has her own place, her own townhouse in the Capitol Hill area, Washington, D.C. She's in graduate school at American University, graduated from Wright State University. She was in the Peace Corps over in Senegal, Africa. She's done so much in this short 25 years, man. I'm just so proud of her and my brother's daughter, and I just love her so much. So I just want to give her a shout out for her 25th birthday.
Great shout out, Tate, man. Got love to hear it. Hey, my shout out goes to my brother Ahmad, man. For those that don't know, my brother Ahmad is actually out on tour right now, spreading the gospel throughout the whole United States of America. He's in a place called Kermit, Texas. And I want to just say that my brother is one of the strongest people I know, because just as of yesterday, my brother buried his sister, you know. And so for those that don't know, and, you know, we talk about it because we try to be private as a family. My brother Ahmad lost his sister Monica, who was 35 years of age, to drugs. And so for him to bury his sister and then literally be out on tour, man, to, you know, to try to spread the gospel, man, he's one of the strongest people I know. So my shout out goes to the Bell family, which me and Ahmad, for those that don't know, our father is Nathan Gurley, and me and Ahmad have different mothers, but the same dad. So we true bloodlines between me and him. So to give my shout out to my brother Ahmad and my nephew Jaden, who's out on the tour with a couple of guys you might know that's on the Christian hip hop circuit. They're coming to the Midwest as well as being in the South and maybe like Albuquerque, New Mexico, and places like that. So my shout out goes to the Bell family and all the prayers and condolences for you guys as you buried Monica yesterday. Hey, so as we get to the end of the show, once again, we just want to thank you guys for liking and subscribing to our stuff, man. Man, we just love the fact that we have know-it-all listeners and know-it-all viewers out there, and that we're able to actually bring content to you guys weekly to talk about what we love and know as far as the know-it-alls is concerned. So, man, signing off for my boy Mod, who's not here, my brother, my boy Tate, and for Big G, it's been the Know It All Podcast. Peace.